Clint Eastwood, the legendary Hollywood icon, was about to do something no one expected when a homeless man asked him for $1. In that moment, a chance encounter would spark a journey that would change both of their lives forever. Where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and please complete our 1,000 subscribers for more inspiring stories. It was a crisp autumn evening in Carmel by the Sea, California. The sun hung low, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson as Clint Eastwood strolled down Ocean Avenue. Wearing his signature rugged leather jacket and a pair of worn boots, the legendary actor and filmmaker looked every bit as unassuming as the town he had once served as mayor. Known for his quiet generosity and no-nonsense demeanor, Clint had planned for a simple walk to clear his mind. He didn't expect to be stopped. "Excuse me, sir. Could you spare $1?" The voice came from the shadows of a small alleyway, rough but polite. Clint turned his head to see a man seated on a flattened cardboard box. He was older, perhaps in his late 50s, with a weathered face and eyes that held a mix of weariness and hope. The man's belongings were few: a tattered backpack, a blanket, and a hand-painted sign that read, "Anything helps." God bless Clint paused, studying the man for a moment. He reached into his pocket, not for his wallet, but for his thoughts. What does a man like this need with just $1? He stepped closer. "What's your name, friend?" Clint asked, his voice calm but firm. "Ray," the man replied, straightening his back slightly as if to muster some dignity. "And why $1, Ray?" Clint pressed, his eyes narrowing ever so slightly. "What's so special about $1? Ray hesitated, then chuckled softly. "It's all I need for tonight, sir. $1 will get me a cup of coffee and a little warmth at the diner down the street. That's all." Clint nodded, his face revealing nothing of the thoughts racing through his mind. A simple request, yet something about Ray's composure intrigued him. Most people would ask for more. Money for a meal, perhaps, or to cover a bus ticket. But Ray's humility struck a chord. Instead of reaching for his wallet, Clint did something unexpected. He pulled a small, notepad-sized leather journal from his jacket pocket. Flipping through a few blank pages, he handed it to Ray along with a pen. "What's this?" Ray asked, bewildered. "A challenge," Clint replied. "Write down what you'd do with more than just $1. Think bigger, dream bigger. If you're willing to put it on paper, I'll decide whether you deserve more than that coffee." Ray blinked, unsure whether this was a joke or some test, but something in Clint's tone told him it wasn't meant as a slight. It was an invitation. "I'll wait here," Clint said, leaning against the lamppost, arms crossed. Ray hesitated, then placed the notepad on his lap. He tapped the pen against his knee, staring at the blank page. Slowly, words began to spill out. 5 minutes passed, then 10. Clint remained patient, watching as passers-by stole glances at the unlikely pair. When Ray finally handed the notepad back, his hands trembled slightly. Clint scanned the page. Ray had written more than a simple list. He'd outlined a vision: a warm place to sleep, a job to regain his dignity, the chance to help others like him who had fallen through society's cracks. Clint looked up, his steely gaze softening. "You've got more fight in you than you think, Ray." He handed him a $100 bill. "This is for now. Meet me here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. sharp. We'll talk about what comes next." Ray's jaw dropped. I don't understand. Why are you doing this?" Clint smiled faintly. "Because sometimes a man just needs someone to believe in him." As Clint walked away, Ray sat there clutching the bill, his heart racing with a mix of gratitude and disbelief. He had no idea that this encounter was just the beginning of a life-changing journey. The next morning, the air was still cool, a reminder of the autumn chill that lingered even as the sun began to climb higher. Ray stood nervously at the same corner on Ocean Avenue, the $100 bill folded carefully in his pocket. His hands trembled, not from the cold, but from the weight of the promise Clint had made. At exactly 9 a.m., Clint Eastwood appeared, walking at his usual pace, but this time with a purposeful stride. His eyes met Ray's, and there was no judgment, no pity, only a quiet understanding that Ray wasn't the same man he had been the day before. "You made it," Clint said, his voice steady as ever. He gestured toward a small, bustling cafe across the street. "Let's have a seat." Ray followed Clint across the street, his heart pounding. As they sat down at a corner table, the waitress, a young woman with a kind smile, brought over 2 steaming cups of coffee. Clint sipped his drink, glancing at Ray over the rim of his cup. "So, Ray, you've got that vision of yours written down. Now, let's talk about how to turn it into something real." Ray shifted uncomfortably in his seat. "I don't know, sir. I've been trying to get my life together for years. I've made mistakes and, well, it's hard to believe I could start over at this age." Clint leaned in slightly, his eyes locked on Ray's. "The thing about starting over is that you never truly start from scratch. You bring everything with you, your experience, your lessons, even your failures. It's all part of the package. Now tell me, what's the first step you're going to take to change things?" Ray looked down at the coffee cup, the steam rising in delicate swirls as he gathered his thoughts. "I've been trying to find work, but nobody seems to want to hire someone like me. I've been in and out of shelters for years, and it feels like no one cares, but I want to get back on my feet. I want to feel like I matter again." Clint nodded. "First things first, you need a place to stay, and you need to get clean. No one's going to take you seriously if you're not taking care of yourself." Ray nodded, swallowing hard. "I know. I've been too scared to try a shelter again. The last time, it wasn't a good experience." Clint's expression softened. "I've seen a lot of men in your position, and let me tell you, it's not about where you've been, it's about where you're going. You're here now, and that's what matters." Ray felt something stir within him, a flicker of hope he hadn't felt in years. He could feel Clint's presence, steady and unwavering, as a silent reassurance that maybe, just maybe, he wasn't alone in this. Clint reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a business card. "Here's the name of a place. They help people get back on their feet. It's not a 5-star hotel, but it's a start. Go there and they'll get you a bed for the night and some food. Then we'll go from there." Ray took the card, staring at it for a long moment. He hadn't expected Clint to offer anything more than advice, but this felt like a real opportunity. "Thank you," Ray whispered, his voice thick with emotion. Clint gave him a firm nod. "You don't need to thank me, Ray. Just make sure you do something with it." The 2 men sat in silence for a few moments, the weight of the conversation settling in. The world outside the cafe bustled on, oblivious to the small act of kindness unfolding inside. When the bill came, Clint placed a generous tip on the table and stood up. "I've got to head out, but I'll check in on you tomorrow. Don't let me down." Ray nodded, his heart swelling with gratitude. He watched as Clint exited the cafe, the door chiming softly behind him. For the first time in years, Ray felt the stirrings of something powerful within him. Determination. He wasn't sure what tomorrow would bring, but he knew one thing for sure. He wasn't going to let this chance slip away. Thank you for watching till the end video. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, don't hesitate to like the video and share it with your friends too. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell for more fascinating stories.